This is going to be a hard pill for some of you to swallow, so I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. Okay? Creative people who do not have an outlet, creative people who do not have a creative outlet, right, are insufferable to be around. If you are a creative person, I'm talking to my artists, my writers, my thinkers, and really just anybody, 9 times out of 10, you are not sad. You just need to create. That feeling of like, I'm lost, I'm confused, I'm angry, I'm stuck, I'm paralyzed. You just need to create. You need to put pen to paper, and you need to stop waiting for someone to give you permission. No one's going to give you permission. No one's going to give you the green light. Okay, time to start creating now. There's not going to be a sign, right? And I understand that it's natural to fall into places where you're not feeling creative, and that's natural. Being a creative person means having to just kind of move with the ebb and flow and the ups and downs, right? But you are not that obsessed and in love with someone who doesn't deserve that attention from you. Your unused creative energy is attaching itself to things that it shouldn't be attached to because you are not using it. So your unused creative energy is attaching itself to other people, to feelings that are supposed to be temporary. You need to use your creative energy. If you do not, you will be depressed. And I say that as someone who is an artist, right? You are creatively blocked, right? That energy is going to spill into other things. So that can look like being obsessed in love, right? Being overly anxious, right? Kind of perseverating over unnecessary and small things. A lot of that just means that you need an outlet, and it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be good. And I think that's where a lot of artists kind of get confused. A lot of creative people, this is what they fail to understand. You need to be making more bad art. You need to release the shame, right? You need to stop perceiving yourself all the time in what you are creating. Stop using external things to avoid confronting the wasted potential within you, right? For the next 2 weeks until the new moon in Gemini, really think about how to honor your negativity. And remember that like you don't need to feel good to make good things happen. Right? You don't need to feel good things all the time and think positive thoughts all the time to create good shit. Whatever you are afraid of, whatever is stopping you, is what you need to confront. That's what needs to be explored. And unfortunately, for a lot of creatives, and really for honestly a lot of people just in general, that is where we stop. We're like, oh, this is something I'm scared of. Oh, this is something that I don't want to be honest with myself about. I'm going to turn in the other direction. Actually, no. Your good art lies on the other side of that. That's the difficult part. That's why they say the best thing you can do for an artist is like break their heart, right? This Scorpio full moon is understanding that sometimes your pain is the best alchemizer, right? Your pain is the most, potent transformational energy. And I think with this Scorpio full moon being ruled by Mars and Leo with Venus and Aries, and this full moon is also trining Saturn and Pisces, right before Saturn enters Aries later this month, this is going to have lasting impact. The realizations that you have surrounding your insecurities this week. Scorpio full moons are going to bring up insecurities. It's going to bring up feelings of lack. It's going to bring up tough conversations because unfortunately that's what Scorpio is about. And for Scorpio placements across the board, Scorpio is very much about like, I'm not going to change until you force my hand, right? Like And so that's kind of the ironic thing about it. And so this Scorpio full moon is really going to show you kind of what you've been running away from. That can come from just taking the L, letting yourself kind of fall on your ass, right? And then rising from the ashes again. And that kind of phoenix energy is just something that's like a natural occurrence for Scorpio. Scorpios are out here like, y'all are still on your first life. I'm on my like ninth life. You know what I mean? This is very tender and very uncomfortable. And that's why I also think Scorpio is really associated with our underbellies, right? The parts of us that we want to protect no matter the cost. Scorpio actually represents the softest parts of ourselves that we put a lot of armor over because we don't want that softness access. We don't want that softness taken advantage of. So Scorpio actually really represents our wounds. Scorpio can really bring up our weaknesses and make us almost hyper aware of them. But what's so important to understand about this week and really the next 2 weeks, right until the new moon, sometimes you need to allow things to happen in disguise, in mysterious ways, I fear, right? Sometimes the worst things can be a blessing in disguise. Happy full moon, and let's really kind of plow through this week.